In gene libraries and screening, today we will discuss about cDNA libraries. In our previous lecture, we discussed how someone can construct genomic libraries. Now, today we will discuss about cDNA libraries. cDNA library is actually a collection of clones containing cDNA and represent the genes that are expressed within a given cell or tissue at a particular period. And the advantage of cDNA library is that it contains only the coding regions of the genome. So here are 5 basic steps involved in the construction of cDNA library. First is messenger RNA isolation and purification, and second, checking the messenger RNA integrity, and then fractionation and enrichment of messenger RNA, and synthesis of cDNA. cDNA synthesis consists of first cDNA strand synthesis and then degradation of messenger RNA, and second cDNA strand synthesis. After cDNA synthesis, next we do treatment of cDNA ends, and then final is ligation into vector. So from prokaryotic messenger RNA, we cannot make cDNA library because prokaryotic messenger RNA is very unstable, and genomic libraries of eukaryote are easier to develop and they contain all the genome sequences. And cDNA libraries are very useful for eukaryotic gene analysis. Condensed protein encoded gene libraries have much less junk sequences, and cDNA have no introns, so genes can be directly expressed in E. coli cells. And cDNA libraries are very useful to identify new genes and tissue or cell type. In messenger RNA isolation, we see how we isolate and purify messenger RNA. You all must be familiar that messenger RNA are polyadenylated at their 3' end. It is messenger RNA having poly A tail and 5' cap. So by using oligo-DT, we can easily recover messenger RNA because oligo-DT bind to this poly A tail and we can easily extract our messenger RNA. There are actually 3 main methods used to isolate messenger RNA. The first traditional one was done by passing a preparation of total RNA through a column of oligo-DT cellulose. Oligo-DT bound to messenger RNA poly A tail, and then we isolate messenger RNA out of the column. The second is to add oligo-DT link to magnetic beads directly to cell lysate and then pulling out the messenger RNA using a strong magnet. Alternative route of isolating messenger RNA is lysing cells and then preparing messenger RNA ribosome complexes on sucrose gradient. After messenger RNA isolation, we check the integrity of messenger RNA. Make sure that messenger RNA is not degraded. 2 methods are commonly used. First is translating the messenger RNA. Here we use cell-free translation system like wheat germ extract or rabbit reticulocyte lysate, and we see if messenger RNA can be translated or not. And the other is analysis of messenger RNA through gel electrophoresis. Here we use either agarose or polyacrylamide gels. Next is fractionation and enrichment of messenger RNA. In fractionation, it performed on the basis of size and messenger RNA of interested size, and then we recover them from agarose gel, while enrichment carried out by hybridization. Here is our messenger RNA having poly A tail, and these are transfer RNAs, and these are circular one are ribosomal RNA. We use oligo-DT matrix. Next, poly A tail messenger RNA bound to the oligo-DT matrix and then transfer RNA and ribosomal RNA washed away, and we can easily purify messenger RNA from the oligo-DT matrix by changing the pH of the buffer. So, synthesis of cDNA involve first strand synthesis, then degradation, and then second strand synthesis. In first strand synthesis, we use reverse transcriptase, primer, oligo-DT, DNTPs, and second strand synthesis is the best way of making full-length cDNA is to tail the 3' end of the first strand and then use the complementary primer to make the second strand. Here is first strand cDNA synthesis. First strand cDNA synthesis using messenger RNA template, and this reaction catalyzed by reverse transcriptase and 4 DNTPs. Reverse transcriptase requires this primer to extend on the cDNA strand, and this reaction leads to the formation of a hybrid between messenger RNA and cDNA. Terminal transferase enzyme comes and adds oligo-DCTP to the cDNA, and then by providing alkali treatment will hydrolyze the messenger RNA in the cDNA and messenger RNA duplex, and this treatment provides primers for the second strand cDNA synthesis. Polymerase or reverse transcriptase comes and extend and form the other strand of cDNA, and first strand cDNA synthesis result in duplex cDNA. In second strand cDNA synthesis, this is our duplex cDNA. Single strand specific nuclease enzyme comes and they move the protruding 3' end, and then polymerase enzyme comes and fill in the 3' end. Next, what we will do, we add equal R1 enzyme and linkers and T4DNA ligase. T4DNA ligase enzyme add linkers to the duplex cDNA, and then we perform EcoR1 enzyme restriction enzyme digestion and then ligate this cDNA to the vector and then transform to desired host cell. Next, treatment of cDNA. Blunt end ligation of large fragment is not efficient, so we use special acid linker to create sticky end for cloning. The process involves moving protruding 3' end by strand special nucleases and then fill in missing 3' nucleotide by clean of fragment of DNA polymerase 1 and 4 DNTPs and then ligate the blunt end and linkers by T4DNA ligase enzyme, and then we do restriction enzyme digestion is ligation to vector. Any vector with EcoR1 site would be suitable for cloning the cDNA. The process involves dephosphorylation of the vector with alkaline phosphatase enzyme and then ligation to vector and cDNA by T4DNA ligase. Here vector can be plasmid or bacteriophage vector depending on the size of our insert. So these are about cDNA libraries. In next lecture we will discuss about screening procedures.